Welcome to The View from the East, a new unofficial Leyton Orient podcast. My name is Rob Bennett, and I'm joined today by my older and wiser brother, Eddie. Ed, after a couple of years of chatting about it and a few months putting things together, we have finally decided to get the pod off the ground and arrive at episode 1, what we'll call our introductory show.
Yeah, and it's just to say hello. My name's Eddie. I'm the older brother, and as Rob discussed, probably the wiser one, just to keeping him under control. And we're just hoping to bring a new podcast to some Leyton Orient fans that we feel we're not getting at the moment from Leyton Orient at present.
Okay. We must mention, and you probably already worked this out, we are not professional podcasters. We both have normal 9 to 5s. I'm a teacher. It's busy on the stock market. But what we are passionate Orient fans. Our old man was an Orient fan. Our uncle was an Orient fan. We grew up locally to the ground. So we do pretty much know what we're talking about, we hope. And we have seen a lot of the highs and lows along the way.
Yeah, and I just to sort of clarify from what Rob said, I've been going to Leyton Orient since I think my first game was in 1977. Cambridge at home. I think we won 2-0. And me and Rob, we've stood around every part of Leyton Orient over the last 40, 50 years. And we've now ended up in the East Stand, where we're still classified as the youngsters of the group that we stand around, and it's still nice to be called Sun every now and again.
Now, it's important to say there is already great product out there, whether that be by the club. You've got the Orient Outlook podcast, the Orient Hour on Wednesday, the Leyton Orienteer, which has obviously been going for years and years. The great stuff that you see on both the Independent Forum and the Leyton Orient Forum, and of course, the various options that are shared on X. But we just felt, after talking for a while, that there's just something maybe else that we could put out there for you listeners.
Yeah, so I think what we're trying to hope that we can bring, or a slightly different view. We're going to do some match chat. Yeah, we are going to talk about the games. And we'll probably clarify we're no Neville or Carragher, but we'll bring our view to what we've seen, whether that be live at Leyton Orient or we'll go to the occasional away games or watching on streaming services, and then hopefully we can bring some tactical chat without going full pep. Possibly bring back 4-4-2.
I'd like to see 4-4-2, but that will never happen. We'll discuss any club news that we feel is important during the week. We'll also talk about anything that's annoyed us during the week. That doesn't necessarily have to be on the pitch. That could be me trying to get home after the game, or Ed trying to get through Leyton Tube Station so he can get back to South Woodford. What we would love to have is fan interaction. So quite honestly, I could do a show just reading out tweets all evening, but we'd just love to have you on the show so we can talk about what's happened at the recent games, or what we're expecting to happen on the game coming up, and possibly what could be our favourite bit of it. We'll also be doing a few pub reviews on the way before the game and after, just so we can get out and about a bit and see what's happening, not just in the coach and horses, that is obviously great, but the pubs a little bit further afield as well as people travel in.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think there's Leighton's and Leytonstone and Walthamstow that they're all changing, and there's some lovely restaurants and bars. And as me and Rob are slightly getting a little bit older now, and our kids are growing up, we've got more spare time now. So we do like to sort of chop and change around, going to sort of different bars, different restaurants before the game. And it'd be good to sort of give our sort of reviews of what's good, what's bad locally, and sort of try and build up a repertoire of sort of good places that we recommend, that we think are good to go to before the game and after the game.
It's worth us mentioning that it is your birthday coming up the weekend, so I've got a little treat lined up for you.
What's that?
Basically, we're heading to enemy country. We're going to the Bowling Tavern.
You what?
Famous in the past as quite a West Ham mainstay, shall we say, but apparently has been done up. It's a little bit hipster, a little bit not like what it used to be. Also, it's worth mentioning, I'm down in Kent, a nice little sunshine isle. Danny Dyer's had the cheek to come down here onto my manor, So I thought I'd walk you through his manor in Newham, and we'll have a walk up Green Street, have a few pints, and then we'll get the 58 back into Leyton, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are this week heading to the Bowling Tavern. So if you fancy joining us, we're normally at the door, aren't we, at 12 o'clock, waiting for it to open. So, yeah, come along. Just look for two Orient fans who are randomly in there,
I
and
was
yeah, we'd love to have a chat.
I was just going to say we'll be the only two Leyton Orient fans in the bowling tavern.
Yeah, I might
Honestly.
not be wearing my colours that day, I don't think. So we mentioned just previously, obviously, the great content that's out there. Is a little piece that caught my eye this week, which was on X, and it's from Old Orient Pics, which I'd highly recommend. They do some great stuff on there, going back, outdating us, going back to many a year. So here's a little item, Ed. I thought we'd have a look at. Cast you back 30 years. The date would be the 8th of March 1997. You'd be about 24 at the time, so still in short trousers. And we're off to what could be my favourite away trip ever, an absolute classic in Brighton, 4-all away. What are your memories of that day?
I remember being quite excited. I think before we turned up, we got the train into Brighton, probably about 11 o'clock. We did the usual, walked straight down to the seafront, found the first pub we could on the pier, then jumped in a cab, asked for telling them we need to go to the Brighton football ground. They dropped us off at a pub, the closest one to the ground. It was the Goldstone then. Walking into the pub, only Leyton Orient fans there. And as soon as we walked in, we got stopped by the police checking through old photos of probably youngsters that have been causing trouble. Great game, 4-all. Can you remember who scored for us, Rob?
I can remember being 2-0 down. Then we get it to 3-2. They come back 3-all. We'll talk about when we went 4-3 up in a minute. Off the top of my head, Griffiths, did he score a couple?
Yeah, I think it will come to me. I think the what really sunk in, I think Brighton needed a point or 3 points really, but a point did them well because there was on the verge of being relegated to the National League. And I think it was the actual realization when the game finished at sort of 5 o'clock, realizing, yeah, we're about 45 minutes from the train station, got no way of getting a cab home or a bus home. We had to slowly walk home all the way to the train station.
Yeah.
And every corner in because we were the only Lake Orient fans heading back to Brighton Station. What a
Bear in
day!
mind as well, that was their old stadium, wasn't it, which was pretty much falling down, but it was quite a big ground at the time, and we banged it out. I think it was almost close to 10,000. Our end was pretty much full. We was on the side, weren't we? On
That's
the
right.
side of the pitch, on the stand-up bit. This ain't bad for a forward line. Look who scored that day. So Cole Griffiths, uh, Inglethorpe, he scored. McLeish scored what we thought was going to be the winner, and I think he did as well. When he put us up 4-3, he gave it double guns to the home fans behind the goal,
Was
set off a near riot. And then I remember Butch Wilkins, one of only 3 games he played for us, having to stick out a leg to save the ref as he was about to be attacked by quite an angry Brighton fan. And yeah, it all kicks off, and then they got a dubious penalty near the end. Yeah, that could have been what, 5-all, 6-all, 7-all that day. But yeah, I would rate that within my top 5 games ever. I think I've been to. Pretty
happy
easy,
day.
innit?
I think you can still. I think that game is on YouTube somewhere. I'm sure I've seen it on YouTube. Probably well over 20,000 of that though.
It was 89,000, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought it was well. I
Well,
was younger
not unless
then.
everyone's probably said they was there.
Yeah.
That's why it was 20,000. Okay. Well, nice memories of that day. We probably need a couple of classic games like that if we're going to get ourselves out of the situation we are at the moment. It's almost time to wrap up this introductory episode. But before we go, Ed, I've got a couple of quick questions, and we'll toss a coin for which one you're going to answer today. 2 questions for you. Will the O's stay up this season? Or
Ooh.
option 2, have the club been right in sticking with Richie Wellens? We'll go heads for will the O's stay up, and tails for have the club been right in sticking with Wellens. I'll just toss the coin. So it's come up tails, Ed. I'll ask you the question. Have the club been right in sticking with Richie Wellens?
I think at the moment we're probably right in sticking with him. I think purely because he's committed himself to the club for the next 2 or 3 years. He's already got us out of a tricky situation. And actually, it was a good point yesterday. I was listening to his pre-Stevenage game, sort of saying he told the board, because it was such a big change of the squad this season, that it was going to be a tricky season this year. We've had to we've got rid of a lot of players that have moved up into the Championship, on the verge of the Premiership. Some of the players, and I think he knew this year was always going to be a struggle. But we have spent big bucks on some of the players coming in. If the rumours are true, some of the players that we have got in are on sort of like 8 grand a week, possibly. So you would have expected more, but it's very, very similar. Not as bad to when we went down under the Italian, but it's just a typical Leyton Orient, isn't it? We're at 90 minutes getting into the Championship, and then all the aspiration, you think you're going to be in the playoffs, one of the favourites the next season, and then we're fighting a relegation battle with just over 10 games to go. So I think
Um,
it's to stick with him. Fingers
yeah,
crossed.
it'll be interesting, wouldn't it? Because Northampton sacked your favourite Nolan yesterday, so
Did
they
they?
have almost left it to the last minute, haven't they? If those ever go, I'm not saying I want Wellings gone, but if they were going to do it, you'd want to give someone a little bit more time, wouldn't you? Although saying that, when Wellings came in, what, 4 years ago, similar time of year, wasn't it? It's almost exactly 4 years since he joined us. He did
Yeah.
turn things around, didn't he, even before the end of that season. So he was getting wins with a pretty poor and deflated squad at that time. So onwards and upwards. I think within that, we're probably still praying that we stay up. So we just got to get as many positive results as we can. We will next week. Obviously, have a little talk about how the season's gone so far. Probably not worth reflecting too much time on it, because I think by the time we record again next Monday, it'll be 10 games to go, won't it? I think so, and then it'll be all in for those 10 games. And let's just hope everyone, fingers crossed, we can stay up, even if it means finishing fifth from bottom on goal difference.
I'll take it, Rob.
Um, we go after it. I don't want to miss out, especially, have you seen who's coming up? Potentially, we've got Cambridge coming up. We've got Bromley coming up. MK Dons coming up. Next year, potentially a load of games we can get to, hopefully in League One. Right, before we go, time to give out our socials. We'll keep it very simple, just two options at the moment. You can email us directly at the view from the east at outlook.com. I'll say that again, the view from the east at outlook.com, or contact us directly on X by searching at view from east. Again, on X, it's at view from east. I will be putting out as much information as I can on X over the next couple of days and weeks. But if you would like to join us in the studio and talk all things Orient, we can debate the good, the bad, the ugly. You could decide what the ugly would be. But yeah, we'd love to have you on, as many people as possible, so we can discuss all things Orient. Thank you, if you've got this far, for listening. We'll put out a new episode hopefully Monday after who we got on Saturday. We have
Uh,
got Peterborough. We never do well against Peterborough. So yeah, we'll talk to you then. Thank you for listening, and up the O's.
Up the O's.